Guys, what's up? Will here from Flow Candy. Today I got another breakdown for you, and I'm breaking down Medicube and why I find this brand fascinating. I mean, there's a couple different reasons, but first off, this is a brand that is rumored to be doing 600, $700 million a year in revenue and is not doing any email marketing. I mean, I tried really hard to find the emails. I only found one, a pre-purchase flow. So I'm gonna break that down. Two, they're also be the rumored to be operating at a like a 20+% profit margin too, which is very, very rare in sort of this D2C landscape we're in, if you want to call it. A lot of them are, some of them, not a lot, but some of them are venture backed and are unprofitable. Liquid Death, this one that comes to mind, has famously been rumored to be unprofitable. So, yeah, I'm really excited to break down like what are these guys doing where they can scale to hundreds of millions of dollars and are well on their way to unicorn status while maintaining a very good profit margin and also not doing very little email marketing, which honestly is one of the most profitable channels. So let's dive into it. Um, so you know, one thing you got to realize with Medicube is it's hard to even find their site. There's a lot of other knockoff sites out there and stuff like that. Obviously, they're an international brand. This is a Korean brand, a K beauty brand. Um, it was founded by a 36-year-old Kim Young Hoon. Sorry if I um, bastardized the name there, but he is now South Korea's youngest billionaire, I think. So this is a very, very fast scaling company around the world, but really has Korean roots. And what's interesting too about this brand is that I think like 80% of their sales come from overseas. So, a lot of the sales are coming from the US. It's also not just China too, because I did some research into K beauty brands, and a lot of them have a lot of success in China, um, as well as Korea, and they're not as popular in the U.S. But what's really driving a lot of these their revenue to scale to this borderline unicorn level is is these international sales that they're getting in the U.S. Europe markets. So let's dive into this. I have the breakdown right here. So I think that just starting off with the traffic, excuse me, battling a little bit of a cold here, but starting with the traffic, this is a site that is generating almost a million views a month. Okay. So we're looking at about 700,000 a month right now. What they finished at the end of the year last year, which is impressive. I mean, it's not like Kardashian level impressive, but for a beauty brand, that is impressive. Almost at a million. What I find very, very unique about it is just the level of direct or traffic that is target or tagged as direct and organic, or even social. I mean, this tells me, I mean, they could be buying, I'll get into it. Like, I think they could be buying a lot of this traffic. It's not necessarily organic, but it just shows that they're generating a ton of word of mouth, whether that's organically or through paid acquisition. And that is really driving just tons of traffic to their site. Um, you can see the organic traffic that's coming in. It's branded. It's mostly branded. It's around their top selling products. Their social traffic too. I'm going to dive into that. Like YouTube is a big, big, big. That came as their number one most popular social media channel, which I was surprised. I thought it would have been Instagram. This is I'm going to get into it in a second, a very viral product. So I thought maybe TikTok would have been attributed more here, but it's actually YouTube. And Reddit popped up as well. And when we get into the ads, let's see if I can, I thought I linked this. I guess I didn't. Um, when we get into their ads, what I find interesting, okay, so if you go to Google Ads Library and you type in, for people that ask me, how do you find their ads? This is how you do it, okay? Medicube. You have to go to the US site. Of course, it's not working. There we go. Okay. What I find interesting is I thought I understood this correct. I tried this on a VPN and a non-VPN, but they're running ads in Korean, it looks like, in the US. Because I have this in the United States. It's not just ads in Korea or worldwide, for example. So very interesting there. Now this could be dynamic, so I'm not sure, but it's very interesting that you have these. It could also just be their name is in Korean, but very, very interesting. Here's one in, I think this is Chinese. So I'm wondering if that's a strategy. I need to investigate this more, but I found that very interesting. I've heard of other brands doing this, running like Chinese, Korean, or Spanish specific ads in the United States, and that sort of is a that is a tactical advantage for them, just targeting those type of speakers within the United States. Another thing too, when you look at their Facebook ads, and I think this is really, really why they're so successful here. Facebook ads library. Ads, Medicube. What they're doing so well is, I want to say it is, it's micro influencing. As you can see, a lot of their ads, and I'm sorted here by impressions high to low, and this was launched about 2 weeks ago. So they're finding these people, or they're finding micro influencers, okay, and they are running paid ads with them. I don't know if they're paying for the paid ads or they are, reimbursing these influencers, but it's really, really interesting that this is a huge part of their strategy. They're finding, like, again, this one is I think this is Arabic, and then they'll have. What's interesting is I couldn't find. I'm not sure if this is like their sponsor, if they're like influencers, micro influencers, or if they are sort of like the part of their ambassador program or affiliates, where it's like a combination of both. But they're doing a lot of their ads are these like sponsored with sort of influencer posts. Now they do have like specific ads they're running from the brand. So as you can see, and you click on that, nothing crazy. I mean, this is just a sentence of copy and a bit.ly link, a more of a social proof email. And then they're not even doing, sometimes they don't even have like UTM codes on these things. So it's really crazy how it's nothing like cutting edge what they're doing. This is a broken link, I think, here. Maybe they meant to go here. Oh, here's one with the UTM. So some of it's in Korean. So a little bit all over the place with their strategy, but it's working. They have about 260 ads live. I think they have about 80 Google ads live. So there is a little bit of, like I said, it's not totally, if you go and look at their traffic, it's not totally just, it's framed as organic. What's going on here? It's framed as organic or direct, but I think a lot of it is coming in through this micro ambassador program they have. And if you go to their website, you can see it. Like it's part of their thing. So they have this ambassador program where you go through it, you apply, um, and it's a big part of their website. They have a whole funnel around it, and I tried to sort of capture what it is, so you can, if you're wondering like how you can implement this in your brand. So basically, what they do is you click on this, and it's some sort of form. You enter your birthday, you enter your email, you enter your password, your name, and then unfortunately, this is the farthest I could get because I didn't have a professional Instagram account. But you have to connect an Instagram account or TikTok account, I think, and then I don't know if they like manually approve you. I tried to do more research on like what are the benefits. Like, okay, if I do become an ambassador, like what do I get? Am I getting free product? Am I getting like 20% commission or something like that? I really couldn't find much details about that, so maybe that's gate kept. But but I think this is a huge part of why they're driving traffic is they're calling an ambassador program. I think it's very much like a micro influencer, maybe even like an affiliate program they're doing here. Another big thing too around the affiliates though is they had mega influencers also review their product, and it's quite remarkable because we're talking about two influencers like Kylie Jenner and Hailey Bieber that also have their own unicorn level beauty brands. Hailey Bieber sold Rhode, I forget the valuation. I think it was over $1 billion to Elf. And then we all know Kylie Jenner's brand is really scaled up, hundreds of millions of dollars. She was on Forbes magazine, whether it was accurate or not, as another billionaire. So they're out there actually promoting this product. I think there was some sort of deal reached with them. I don't know the specifics, but I think this is what really catapulted them into the U.S. market. Because when you look at their products, and I haven't talked so much about their products yet, they've got a very interesting product strategy. You really this HR or this glow device, whatever you want to call it, Booster Pro, is really their top seller. And you look at it, and it's got like it's like a $230 price point. Okay, it's expensive. It's a high ticket product. When you go and look at the product page, it's sort of positioned like a high ticket product. They've got a lot of education going on down here. They have it has its own app. It has how-to videos. There's a global user guide that's broken into all these different languages. So there's a lot going on with this Booster Pro. But when you look at, they've got other things too that they sell that do very well. One thing is, they've got these very viral low ticket products like the collagen night, like their masks and their toners do very well. And it's sort of like a strategy that I don't see as much in D2C. I see it more in other forms of businesses, but some people call it like a tripwire product. You've seen it where maybe it's a free plus shipping offer, like a $5 product, $7 product that leads you into the $50, $60 product. Here, it's like a $20 toner, $30 moisturizer, something like that. That's hopefully getting you eventually into this $200 Booster Pro type product, okay? And if you go and look at their Amazon strategy, this is where it's very self-evident. So they are absolutely killing it on Amazon. they are ranking for very, very hard keywords, like toner. All right. This is very, very hard to rank for this term. They're ranked number one for toner. And this is not a sponsored post. This is organic overall pick. Um, so this toner, this pore pad, this is going viral on things like LinkedIn, Instagram. It's carrying over to Amazon, and that's why they're ranked number one. I think face mask, facial mask, they rank very high up too. So you can see these are all sponsored results, but then both of Medicube's, their zero pore blackhead mud facial mask and their wrapping collagen mask, both organically rank number one on Amazon, or at least in the US right now. So really, really interesting to see their Amazon strategy. And I think that's kind of like the core of their strategy. How do they get to hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue without doing email marketing, and staying profitable? It is a heavy ambassador program that's driving traffic to the D2C store somewhat, but also I think it's Amazon. Their Amazon, if I had to guess, I bet their Amazon is probably revenue-wise surpassing their D2C store. And when I did research on how they launched the brand in the US, they specifically started with Amazon because it was way easier to get to distribution there. Most people have an Amazon account. So they specifically went off of Amazon. And you can see, like, they talk about this pore pad, this toner, 10 million units sold worldwide, 5 units sold every minute. So very impressive. What's also interesting too is I think they're only in one retailer. They have one partnership with Ulta. I need to triple check this, but I looked at it twice. I think you can really only find it in Ulta. So it's you can see how this business could scale much, much, much more bigger. When you think about it, they only have one retailer. They've prioritized Amazon. The D2C store, it works, but it could be optimized a lot. I think they're on, let me see, I wrote it down. I think they're on Shopify. They use apps like OmniSend to send their emails. Their rewards program is on Smile, and that's how they're collecting reviews. So it's a pretty modern tech stack, but they could really, really build upon it. Like I said, they're not sending any emails. The only email I got from them was this pre-purchase flow, okay? And, they have a pop-up that triggers when you're first on site through OmniSend. And, you get this email, which is actually a pretty highly stylized email immediately. I haven't gotten a single email after this. I tried to abandon the cart multiple times. Never got an abandoned checkout flow email. Never got a browse abandonment email. Never have gotten a campaign, and like, we talk about this. If you've watched my other email breakdowns, and just owning Flow Candy and working with hundreds of clients now on their Klaviyo accounts and other CRMs as well, it's very common to see, especially with these beauty brands, 15%, sometimes plus 20% of their revenue coming from CRM, whether that's email, SMS. I signed up for their SMS. I don't think I got a text either. Let me double check. Sorry, voice. Yeah, never got anything from them. So they're not even doing SMS in that pre-purchase flow. Now, again, it might be, this is an like a very international first brand. You know, most brands start out as like, they try to dominate one market, like the US market. These guys, because they're Korean brand, it's a Korean owner, and typically the Chinese market, the local domestic Korean market has been, really the path forward for these K beauty brands. Um, maybe they just scaled so fast into the US and they haven't been able to really build that out yet. But you can see, why I'm pretty bullish on them. There's a couple different unique things that I like about them. It's one that, they are this international brand first. Two, this tripwire strategy of having these low, you can call it low ticket, but maybe $20 entry level products, and then you have this hero booster product that's like $200, that is very aspirational for some people to get, where they have mega influencers like Hailey Bieber and Kylie Jenner using it. So that's the Medicube breakdown. This was a new one for me. I haven't done one like this. This is a new brand where they don't do as much email marketing. But thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Stay tuned.